Hey, this is Russ Helverson with the Quote to Cash Solutions team, and I'm going to put together a quick video that goes over some of the use cases and features of the new B2B Connector Demo. The first demo is going to be the price and product synchronization functionality. So I'm operating in an environment that has both Salesforce CPQ, Salesforce Billing, and B2B Commerce installed. And what I'm going to do is go ahead and choose one of my existing products. In this case, it's a consumable, sort of a one-time product, coffee beans to be exact. And what I'm going to do in the video is just go ahead and clone this particular product, and I'm going to make some changes. Typically, you'd be doing this through, a data uploader, or perhaps integration with ERP. But for a demo, we're just going to go ahead and start modifying and making some changes. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the naming of this coffee to light roast from dark roast. I'm going to change the code. But this is where I can actually take a look at how the synchronization process works with B2B Commerce. So administrators can define what stores products are synchronized with. And merely by checking the box, sync product to B2B, enables this product to be synchronized directly to B2B Commerce. In addition to the trigger that we just witnessed and we'll check on in a second, we also support platform events, batch jobs, and future methods for synchronizing products and pricing with B2B Commerce. Before I go over and check on our product in B2B Commerce, I'm going to go ahead and add some pricing to this coffee. So in this case, we'll say this coffee is $15. We'll go ahead and add it to the standard price book. And I'm also going to add it to my own standard price, the West Coast. And since everything's a little bit more expensive on the West Coast, we'll go ahead and make that even 20. Now that we've created this product and price and we've synchronized, let's go ahead and take a look at it. And I'm going to do that by navigating to the Cloud Craze products for B2B Commerce. I'm going to go ahead and look at all products. And in this case, I'm looking for the Splendid Light Roast Coffee. And this is the one we just created. We can see that based on the date and time. If I go ahead and open up this particular product, I can actually see a couple things. One is the source product. So this is the product that's synchronized with Salesforce CPQ. I can also navigate to the related list. And if I take a look at the price list items, the way we've configured this particular demo is that it's automatically associated this particular product to the Pacific Coffee price list based on the way that we set up the price books in Salesforce CPQ. And we can see that $20 that we put in the West Coast has automatically come over as well. Since we've built this connector with trust and scalability in mind, one of the great things about every action that happens between the two applications is actually monitored in the CPQ B2B logs. So if administrators ever need to review why something didn't happen or there is a problem, they can simply navigate to one of these logs, take a look at it, and see specifically what record caused the issue, hopefully with an error message that tells you how to fix it. Let's go ahead and take a look at some of the user side features and functionality. In the next demo, we're going to start from a storefront as a logged in user who's going to add some things to the shopping cart, request a quote from the Salesforce CPQ, complete that through a direct sales channel, bring it all the way through to ordering and invoicing, and ultimately post the order status back to B2B Commerce. Today I'm playing the role of Teresa Unser, owner and operator of Pacific Coffee in the Bay Area. I've returned to my preferred supplier, Capricorn Coffee, as I need to find a new coffee machine for a new store we're opening. As I navigate to the machines and take a look at the Bella Chrome machine, B2B Commerce is providing me with a rich merchandising and modern customer buying experience. I see this particular machine is selling a little bit below list, so I'm going to go ahead and snag it. Before I do, I also noticed that other customers have recently bought a new product offering from Capricorn, an annual service plan. This seems like a really good idea, so I'm going to go ahead and add it to my cart and then proceed to checkout. As I navigate to the shopping cart, I might have some additional questions for Capricorn around this particular service as it's new. I'm also a return buyer, so I really think it's time I start to get a deal on some of the equipment I've been purchasing. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and actually request a quote directly from the vendor. As I do that, I can go ahead and provide some additional detail. So I'm a return buyer and would like a deal. And I'm going to go ahead and submit that off. Now my quote has been sent out to the sales rep, and I'm going to go ahead and return to making some coffee. So I'm going to step into the role of Andrew Howe, account owner for Pacific Coffee. And I actually got a notification on my Salesforce One mobile app today that Teresa actually put in a request for quote. And I actually got that notification because the request for quote process mentioned me on the chatter feed for this particular quote after it was created. Because everything's being done on the Salesforce platform, I can see the previous history of Teresa's purchases. And in this case, I think it's probably time that we give her a better price for her coffee machine. So I'm going to go ahead and load the quote and go and add an additional discount. We'll give her an additional 10% off the coffee. And I'm going to go ahead and keep the annual service subscription plan the same price, as our company's moving more to a subscription model, and we value that revenue more. I'm going to go ahead and save this particular quote down, and then ultimately go ahead and give Teresa a call and explain the services as she's requested. I'm going to go ahead and submit that 10% discount for approval. And I'm going to write some notes in here for standard discount for previous purchases. And it just so happens when I submit this, it's auto-approved because the threshold isn't high enough to trigger my manager getting engaged. Now, because Teresa is someone that we want to continue to nurture, and I want to continue to provide this pricing to her if she returns again on the site, I'm going to go ahead and update the customer pricing directly on the site for her. This will update both contractual pricing in CPQ as well as the price she sees on the website. I'm also going to take the opportunity to go ahead and create an order so we can actually start the invoicing process for Teresa's business. At this point, someone from the order operations teams would probably take over, but in the interest of just keeping this demo short, I'm going to go ahead and navigate to the order object. At this point, I can see two products on the order, one for the coffee machine, it's a one-time charge, as well as the coffee machine annual service plan. It just so happens that this plan is billed annually in advance, but the revenue is recognized monthly over the terms of the contract. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and activate this order, which will kick off the shipping of Teresa's coffee machine. And I'm also going to go ahead and contract this particular order. Before I do that, I also am going to bill now to create the first invoice. Lastly, I'm going to actually go ahead and sync this back to B2B orders. Because as soon as Teresa gets a notification that her order is ready, we're going to go ahead and push that status directly into B2B Commerce, so she can actually log in and take a look at it directly. Go ahead and save all these items. And so now we've actually gone ahead and created the first invoice. Now that we've contracted, billed, and synchronized the orders, we can see that we've now got all the associated records with those actions. There's our invoice, there's the B2B Commerce order, and there's our contract. If I take a look at the invoice, I can actually see directly on it the cost for the initial 10% discount on the coffee machine, as well as the subscription product billed annually in advance. So now that we're done reviewing the invoice, we can go ahead and navigate back to the account and take a look at all the different items that have been created from this transaction. I can see the original opportunity and quote, but I now have a contract that represents the agreement for the subscription for the service plan that we're now providing. As I scroll down, I can actually see the asset for the coffee machine that we're about to ship to Teresa. I can also see a contracted price that is also reflected in B2B Commerce, so that if Teresa decides to buy directly from Andrew or directly online, she's going to get the same user and buyer experience. We've also got the two orders between CPQ and B2B Commerce that are now synchronized, and will actually allow Teresa to order directly from the website if she so chooses. We also have any pending invoices that are about to be sent out. In the next part of the video, we're actually going to log in as Teresa again and review our order and actually make another purchase for a second store. Alright, so we're back logged in as Teresa. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at the order that Andrew completed for me inside of Salesforce CPQ. But before I do, I'm actually going to take a look at the coffee machine that I'd purchased previously. And sure enough, the price that's reflected in B2B Commerce is the same price that Andrew had quoted to me, and as we discussed over the phone. This is awesome. Next time that I come and I purchase a coffee machine, I'm going to get that deal again. As I navigate to my order history, I can see all my previous purchases. And in this case, again, as Andrew has discussed, the order is now in a completed status and the item is being shipped. Interesting enough, we've actually decided to open a second store. So what I'm going to do is actually reorder the same order that I just completed with Andrew over the phone. This time, instead of requesting a quote for these items, I can actually go straight to checkout and provide my information and run the whole process myself. So I'll provide my default customer information. Go ahead and click continue. I'll agree to the online terms and conditions. We'll do one last order review and proceed to payment information. In this case, I have a PO number that I'll attach. I can also use the one that I've stored previously. I'll use that one actually. And finally, I'm going to go ahead and complete this order. In the last part of the video, we're going to go ahead and navigate back to the account and see that this order is now reflected in CPQ and billing with an activated order, all ready to go. All right, we're back as Andrew Howe, and what a busy day for the sales team. Not only were we able to respond to a request for quote directly with Salesforce CPQ, but Teresa was actually also able to place an order directly through the system. Both have flown seamlessly down to billing, keeping not only my sales manager happy, but finance as well. I hope you enjoyed this video, and please refer to the B2B Connector documentation for more information, use cases, setup, and administration.